Special Judge John Kerry Blackwood today overturned the convictions of 4 defendants in one of Knoxville's most high-profile crimes, the January 2007 kidnapping, rape, and murders of Shannon Christian and Christopher Newsom. The judge ruled that the convictions were invalid on 2 fronts. One, that the trials themselves were constitutionally, structurally flawed because of overwhelming evidence of former Judge Richard Baumgartner's excessive use of prescription drug addiction and other shocking activity off the bench that the judge said prevented him from giving these defendants a fair trial. He also ruled that the judge did not fulfill his role as the 13th juror
until that judge signifies his acceptance or rejection of a verdict. There is no valid verdict. And now I must point out to you that for whatever reason, Judge Baumgartner never exercised his function as the 13th juror in any of these cases. In fact, Judge Baumgartner did not exercise his duty to act as 13th juror in many cases.
Judge Blackwood could not stand in his place and act as 13th juror, so that the cases would have to be retried for that reason as well. That's an automatic ruling that's mandated by the appellate courts in Tennessee. The courtroom was packed for what turned out to be several hours long hearing at which the judge laid out a lot of the TBI's investigation of Judge Baumgartner and what it showed. One of the primary components of his activity was involving a drug court defendant, Dina Castleman, with whom he had an affair that revolved around prescription painkillers. He supplied her drugs even while she was in the hospital here at St. Mary's during Lamarcus Davidson's trial in these carjacking cases. We also learned that she was with him during jury selection in George Thomas's case in Chattanooga, that she visited him at his office in Chambers. They had sexual encounters in Chambers. He took pills in Chambers. He left the bench to get pills from a felon who was on probation in his court, would take those pills and then come back to the bench. So there was a lot of shocked reaction from people in the courthouse and the families of the victims. We also learned that a whole lot of people in the courthouse knew bits and pieces of what was going on with Richard Baumgartner. And those activities go back as far as 2008. Judge Blackwood said that he was doctor shopping, which is a felony, that he was acquiring hundreds of pills in a month, and that he had to be intoxicated while he was on the bench. So with that level of drug use, there was no way that he was not under the influence. And because the judge said that this activity goes back to early 2008, possibly even late 2007, there are thousands of cases that may be implicated in Knox County. Lawyers are already saying that they're going to go back and review the cases that they tried or handled in his court, and most of them will really by law have to raise this issue and use Judge Blackwood's ruling as a basis to try to get relief for their own clients.
Based on what we all heard in there, lawyers are ethically obligated to start in 2008. Any trial now is in jeopardy. Any sentence is in jeopardy. I mean, it's going to be a mess. I have a motion for new trial on the mall shooter, Mr. Johnson. The case was overwhelming evidence by the state, but based on what we heard today, and you were in there, the structural argument that it wasn't, not that it wasn't a fair trial, but the constitutional right to an impartial magistrate, the evidence is there. So if that's the case, that would come back.
Most of those defendants have court-appointed lawyers, so that means the taxpayers are going to be feeling the heat from this decision for a good number of years now.